A frequent theme of the Above It All program, if you are new here, let me remind you, is that I think that the American electorate, the people that are capable of voting, and either they don't vote, but they're capable, or they vote for dummies, the American electorate is dumb. And I'm willing to say, has it been 15 seconds? Hold on. That they're dumb as fuck. So, honestly, let's look at this case here. This is a Washington Post article. In George Santos's district, aka, by the way, Anthony DeVolder, voters feel a mix of regret and resignation. Oh, really? Wow. So you voted for a stupid motherfucker, and now you're upset at the fact that your stupid motherfucker that you voted for is even stupider than you thought? Really? Huh. George Santos may be one of the most hilarious case studies that we've ever seen. You know, of the ability for Republicans to just vote because they're a Republican. You know, Herschel Walker was another good one, but he actually lost his election, so we didn't really get to see what happened. Remember Herschel Walker, like, you know, pro-life, running for Senate, but then it came out he had like 90,000 abortions, and he also beat the shit out of his partners. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. But George Santos is like a real-life catch-me-if-you-can scenario, except this guy, instead of running away from the spotlight, he ran into the spotlight. He was hiding in plain sight. And no one cared about it? No one cared about it. Why? Because Republicans will literally vote for anybody that wears the same color tie as them because they're fucking Neanderthals. Republicans are fucking Neanderthals. They are subhuman, Homo erectus looking motherfuckers. I don't know what to tell you. They do not have a fully developed brain like the rest of us, okay? They're pre-evolution, they're the missing link, they're subhuman, whatever you want to call them. They're dumber than dog shit, right? So you see someone like George Santos lie to these dumb freaks and tell them exactly what they want, and he wins. He gets elected. Maybe I should say she gets elected, given the recent, things that have come out, apparently. George Santos, Anthony Santos DeVolder, was a very frequent drag queen back in Brazil. So, you know, little update there. But again, Republicans will literally lie to the voters and they'll eat it up because they're fucking dumb. They're dumb motherfuckers, right? You see this all the time. Republicans say, I'm pro-life, and then it turns out that, you know, they've got 98 mistresses and each one has had 76 abortions, right? Anyway, let's see what these George Santos voters feel. They feel regret and resignation. Well, speaking of resignation, I know someone that should resign. And it's the people that voted for George Santos who should be resigning from the electorate because they're too dumb to fucking live. Jesus fucking Christ, okay? Sitting in the basement of an American Legion building, an American flag tucked in the corner, and the sounds of a church rock band playing above. A group gathered for a local Republican club meeting to discuss one thing. Rep. George Santos, quote, every day that he's still there, we are suffering. Really? Because guess what? George Santos is still going to vote in the same way that any other Republican would. So what is their problem with George Santos? Seriously, what is their problem? If Republicans didn't have an issue with Marjorie Taylor Greene lying her teeth out about Jewish space lasers because, hey, she at least voted the right way, why are they so concerned with George Santos? Is it because George Santos's lies are so brazen that it just makes them look like suckers? Because you could say the same thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, who would vote for that fucking goddamn ghoul? Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, he's become a joke on late night talk shows. But to us, it's not funny. Because we deserve a real congressman. Yeah, a real congressman? What does that even fucking mean? A real congressman. You're voting for a Republican and you want a real congressman? But the Washington Post is just going to print this propaganda. Santos's constituents say they once saw him as a fresh face for the Republican Party, a promising candidate who could flip New York's 3rd congressional district from Democrat to Republican. During his campaign, Santos touted his success as a businessman and his lineage as a first-generation American with roots in Brazil. He promised to work to reduce inflation, combat crime, and secure the U.S.'s southern border. This is like that Family Guy clip. You know that one where Lois just walks up to the podium and says, 9/11. Like, what is with these Republicans? All you got to do is show up. Inflation! There's goddamn inflation, goddamn crime and the border. The goddamn border! And everyone's like, ah! The border! The border! The border! Why? Because Republicans are fucking morons. Again, they're the missing link. They're Homo erectus. They're freaks. They don't have a fully developed brain. I accidentally spat on my lens, by the way. I gotta wipe that off. But they're dumb motherfuckers. They're freaks, right? So they don't actually give a shit about any actual issues. They're gonna combat crime? How? Oh, more cops. Well, what do we know? Statistically, causally, every time you add more cops to an area, there's more crime activity. Isn't that interesting? So if you wanted to actually combat crime, what you would do is, like I was saying before, end the war on drugs, for starters, right? You would disarm every police officer, for starters, if you really wanted to combat crime, but they don't. Reduce inflation? Yeah, I know a great way to reduce inflation. Let's give all the money from the poor people, steal it from them, and give it to the corporations. That's a great policy to reduce inflation. Yeah, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And secure the border? Joe Biden is at a rate right now of deportations to out-deport Donald Trump. When Joe Biden was vice president, the person that was president was known as the deporter-in-chief in other countries, Barack Hussein Obama, right? So what does that mean, secure the border? It's all, like, Trump's wall is there, Biden finished it in multiple areas, and he's deporting at a higher rate and accelerating than Donald Trump. But they still want to secure the border. Huh? What the fuck does that mean? Right, so again, this is just like Lois Griffin going up to the microphone and saying 9/11. All you need to do to get Republicans to vote for you is say, the border, tough on crime, inflation. Woo! Woo! That's literally it. Why? Again, Republicans are fucking morons. And, let's not let's not make sure we're misunderstood here. What happened with Democrats here? They didn't feel like voting. They just didn't feel like it. They're lazy fucking cocksuckers. And the Democratic Party drew the worst possible districts. Why? Because they're also dumb motherfuckers. So if anyone is responsible for George Santos, it's not just Republican dumb fuck voters. It's also the Democratic Party chair people that drew some fucked up looking maps that gave Republicans an advantage. The Democratic Party of New York gave the Republicans the House of Representatives for the whole country. Is anyone talking about that? A couple people are, but not enough. Well, you know what they are talking about? The goddamn border. It's the border. We gotta secure the border. Like, you ask these motherfuckers, what does that mean? You want to secure the border? What does that mean? They're gonna build a wall, but the wall's already there. They're gonna make sure that they get in legally. Well, again, remember that thing with the fucking asylum seekers being bused to, like, New York and being bused to Washington, D.C.? Those are legal migrants. When you show a picture of a brown-skinned person to one of these, gosh, secure the border people, oh, well, my grandpappy came in here legally. Why don't they do it? You show them a picture of a brown-skinned asylum seeker, and then they're going to go like, oh, goddamn, illegal immigrant, but they're doing the legal process. Illegal. So do you want to abolish the asylum process? Do you just want to lock down the borders entirely? I don't know, man. But I ask y'all, what is the fucking issue with George Santos, really? As far as I'm concerned, he's one of the most entertaining members of Congress, more entertaining than Marjorie Taylor Greene ever has been in her entire life. He's still going to vote just like any other Republican, so what is this big hullabaloo? Why are we all being distracted from the fact that Kevin McCarthy is a psychopath who now is in control of the House of Representatives and third in line to the presidency. I feel like that's a little bit more of a story. But again, oh no, George Santos was a drag queen. Doesn't fucking matter. He's still going to vote like a piece of fucking trash. He's still going to vote for legislation that's going to have the goal of killing drag queens all across our country, right? This guy's a freak, right? He's a liar, you know? And again, I don't necessarily have problems with freaks and liars, but my issue was, I'm not going to lie to you, I actually liked George Santos until I saw that story about how he killed a dog. That, you know what? That's too far. That's too far. But going up on a microphone and saying, we'd like to secure the border. And then that's it? And then everyone's like, woo! I'm vote for you! Like, honestly, that's hilarious. The way that he was able to win an election by just going up there and saying, gotta secure the border. You know? I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So, my opinion, these people, well, if you can even call them people, once again, I don't know. Do you call Homo erectus people? You know, hey, just throwing that out there. But again, these creatures, cryptids, whatever you want to call them, that are feeling regret, I mean, all they're trying to do is use the George Santos story to get their own brand recognition. That's it. Oh, George Santos is a big story. Well, I'm going to come out here and call for his resignation. Then you're going to get on the news. Then you're going to get invited to CNN to talk about why George Santos must resign, and you're going to boost your profile. They don't actually give a fuck. Oh, the sanctity of our chamber. Really? The same motherfuckers that voted for Donald Trump all of a sudden care about lying? Really? The same motherfuckers who voted for Donald Trump are going to tell us that lying is bad? Anyway, that's all I really have to say about it. But fuck these freaks, man. All Republicans, fuck them. They're garbage. And Democrats in that district, drop the fucking ball. Also stupid motherfuckers.